Annyeonghaseyo! Welcome to Afternoona Delight, where Leah, Megan, and Amy, romance novelists, and your K-romance guides. So grab some dekboki and listen to your new favorite unnies.
Hey, everybody, it's Leah Riley.
Hello, it's Megan.
Hi there, it's Amy.
And we're all together again. It's been a little bit. It's been a
minute, yeah.
2 weeks. So I've been sitting on a little story because I was waiting for all of us to be back together. Because I think you guys will find it amusing, and I think our podcast listeners will as well. So, school started for my kids, and my daughter had kind of decorated her book bag, I guess you could say, for the first day of school. So I noticed she had a keychain. She has Shooky. Is it Shooky? The sugar. Yeah. So she had
the little cookie pervert that I love so much.
Yeah, it's so cute. She had a little keychain. So I knew she had kind of raided my office because that is where I keep those things that I get at concerts or whatever. And then I noticed on one of her zippers she had like a bracelet from clearly like a K-pop concert tied on there, and I thought, oh, I wonder what she has. Maybe it says lemon drop for ATs or whatever. So I spin the letters around and it says sad showers.
No.
Whoa.
Did Afternoona Megan make that for you?
Yes.
Okay.
So Afternoona Megan, Megan from our Afternoona Army podcast made that for me when we went to go see Augusty in Oakland. And I remember she specifically was like, I made this just for you. And I absolutely loved it. And let me explain, because this is a little bit of deep Afternoona lore. I mean, you know what I mean? So sad showers, the OG sad shower is from Her Private Life,
Yes,
where Eungi, played by An Bo-hyun, strips down and takes a very angsty sad shower because his adopted sister does not love him as much as he loves her. And it always stood out to us because he wasn't the main lead. And it's funny that they made the second male lead strip down and have a sad shower. And
because of what he looks like.
It's because of what he looks like. And I remember it, they zoom in on the rivulets of water running down his chest. This was clearly just meant to be eye candy. And I always found that so funny. And we talk about his sad showers. And we've talked about numerous other sad showers that K-drama leads have taken. I'm pretty sure Lee Dong-wook has had 3 sad shower dramas. But so it's funny. I love the bracelet. But of all the bracelets that she could have taken,
what does she even think that? Do you think she read it, or do you think she just grabbed one?
I think she just grabbed it. And so it was in the morning, and I discreetly untied it and put it in my pocket because look, she doesn't know the origin. Anyone who looks at what if her teacher was like, why do you have a sad showers bracelet? And she's like, I found it in my mom's office. That's fucking weird. That is fucking weird.
I think it's so random that people would be like, okay.
I know. It's so funny.
Then she's gonna come home
about it.
And it's not bad.
Toe socks would be worse.
Toe socks would be worse.
No. I'd let Poppy go to school with a toe socks bracelet.
Maybe it wouldn't be worse because toe socks is toe socks. It's funny, but sad showers is a little weird.
It sounds like a band. It sounds like a Midwestern emo band.
It does. So I discreetly untied it. I did not replace it yet with something else. But I just didn't want to deal with fallout of that. And I did send a picture to Megan, and I was like, look what I found in my daughter's book bag today. She took this bracelet, and Megan laughed really hard.
That's awesome.
So I love it. So the sad showers bracelet is now safe with me. I have it saved somewhere that she's not going to find it and tie it to her book bag again.
Her randomly taking that makes me think of when she used to find Sharpies all over the house.
Oh my God, she did. She would, oh my God, she was like a truffle pig with Sharpies. She would sniff them out and then draw everywhere. All over the house.
So
You're
I
right.
just want to tell you that like every 6 weeks or so, I think of you and Hazel. And it's whenever I need to use my Uber app because my Uber rating has never ever recovered in years. Years. I mean, it's come up. I've had to do hard work, hard suck up work to Uber drivers. So it's on an upward trajectory, but I lost my 5-star rating in Washington, D.C.
I was there.
after an Uber ride where Megan discussed the fact that her daughter started peeing in the cat's water dish.
No, she pooped.
Pooped.
She pooped.
Sorry, pooped.
Just get it
Took
right,
a
Leah.
giant dookie in the water dish. And Megan gives this like in-depth story about it. And the next day I was like, my Uber rating is like,
This was like 10 years ago, by the way. Like, let's let Hazel off the hook.
Yeah,
She
I
was a-
mean, she's like
she was
she's
a toddler.
right. She
yeah,
was a
she didn't
toddler.
poop in it. Yeah. But anyway, the driver, whatever happened, I think it was that. And then we also canceled on somebody who was having a really serious issue that we did not want to get in their car. And hashtag no pants driver. And so we bailed on him on my account. And after that, I was like, I'd been a 5 and all of a sudden I was like a 4.2. And I'm like, what happened?
Well, I
I'm
know.
still not
I
back
mean,
to a 5 yet. I'm working my way up for 10 years.
my daughter is a constant source of just like surprise. I just never know. I never know when she's gonna steal a Sad Showers bracelet. But I mean, literally, the amount she could have taken, the amount of bracelets I have that would have been perfectly acceptable, and
I
she
still stand
chooses.
by sad showers. I think it's school
I
appropriate. You have
think
dress codes at your schools?
we do. Yeah, we do. So like the straps have to be 2 fingers. So no, like really,
So dumb.
they
Nobody
call it noodle
enforces it.
straps.
Nobody
No,
enforces it.
no, she goes to school with her like tummy showing a little bit sometimes. I mean, all the shirts are cropped now, like for girls her age. And they don't. I think at this point, I don't think that. And she's not allowed to wear pajamas though. She could last year in the school she was in, but now she's in middle school and they have a no pajama rule because the principal hates it, and she was very
But what
upset
is
about
that?
that.
What is that? What denotes pajamas? Like she can't wear flannel pants?
Yeah, I mean that's a good question, Amy. That's a good question.
That was my first question. I was like, you give me what a pajama looks like,
Yeah,
lady.
seriously.
I wanna
Nobody's
see a
gonna enforce
diagram.
it. Can you what's a teacher gonna send her to the office for wearing flannel pants?
I
Like,
you know
that's
what?
ridiculous.
She hasn't had. I mean, she's been wearing shorts, so we haven't even encountered that yet. But she'll just wear sweatpants anyway. I'm not really sure what the difference is. You know what I
No.
mean? But anyway,
So I wanted to share something that I just had an observation. It was sort of like an epiphany, but of myself today, but it's K-drama related. So Megan has been doing a fantastic job with pulling clips from our new video podcast episodes for our Instagram. And I watch them, of course, and comment on them and, got to get that algorithm going. I never like seeing myself on camera. Like who does, right? But today I think I'm hopping on board with a South Korean trend. I see this in K-dramas and on K-reality TV, and I think I notice it more in reality TV. Um when somebody takes a sip of a drink, they cover their mouth
yeah, because I know you're.
because seriously, in that clip today, I'm just watching myself suck on my straw, drinking my
So I need to be like that.
fucking beverage. And I was like, that looks hideous. That looks absolutely hideous. Nobody needs to see that because it's just me reacting and listening. And I'm just going to town on my straw.
Going deep throating it? What do
No,
you
I mean, no, but I was like, nobody wants, I don't know. I just hated looking at
I'm
it.
gonna gargle for everybody right now.
Hated it. Go for it.
Yeah.
So I don't want to drink on camera. And I've got my giant water bottle here and it's filled with fresh, cold water that I want to just
fresh.
suckle. And I don't want anybody to
Liberate
see that.
yourself.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I couldn't I was disgusted with my mouth. I don't know what it was. I just hated the look of it. And I was like, I need to be much more demure about this because now I get it. Like nobody wants to see that. Nobody does.
Yeah, so the program we use, it kind of like automatically when we post like very short clips, the program we use kind of automatically like will show the main speaker, or it will show all three of us or two of us or whatever. And I think it picked up on the sound of like you drinking, and I think
It's
that's why
even
it
worse. It's
showed
even
you,
worse.
because I was talking at the time, but it showed you drinking.
Yes, it showed me drinking. So like if you just see me like dip out,
Yeah, you're drinking.
I'm just taking a sip of water.
Okay. Okay.
Or I'm going to be like,
I'm just
Yeah.
gonna continue to just.
cup doesn't bother me. It
It's
was
the
the
straw.
sucking. Yeah. And like even this, so like, because I'm basic, like I have an Awala. Like the Awala has at least like the sipper thing too. So it's not, look like a straw, but I still don't want like, look at, it covers my mouth. You won't see me.
There you go.
I can Awala.
A built-in K-drama like cover.
No, that looks
Yep.
kind of dirty too, where your face is just covered and you just see your hands tenderly holding it. I'm like, that looks.
I've got my, tenderly rubbing my Awala, and then I've got like my dick of a microphone here. So it's all good.
I just my constant challenge is that I can't just mute and just eat like a fucking pig in a trough while we record anymore, and that is disappointing.
Yeah, because you used to do
I
that
mean,
all the
like
time.
what did you used to have in your bowls? It was like sausage and like what
I would
else?
have like Cheez-Its and mashed potatoes. It's just so today. In today's episode of What Have I Eaten Today, because it's not good. And it's always the worst on Wednesdays. I will say that like it's generally much better. Wednesdays are never good. In today, what I've eaten two things today. I've eaten an entire bag of gummy bears that our listener Jeannie sent me, because I don't know what happened.
Like a sharing size? Like a share.
It was just it wasn't like a Costco bag, but it wasn't like a lunchbox bag.
Yeah.
Of gummy bears, just fucking raw dog gummy bears. I think that was dinner.
I mean,
And
those are
then
delicious.
I had a Happy Meal from McDonald's because I am a hoe for capitalism and BTS. They come together, hump it out in the Happy Meal, and you can buy BTS toys right now. So I picked up Poppy from school today with her friend, and I was like, they're like, we're hungry. I was like, well, we're going to McDonald's to get Happy Meals. This has not been something that's happened to them before at the end of their school day. So they were like, well, and I was like, and I will be taking your toys.
Yeah, you don't get your toy.
And the friend with like Poppy actually rolled with it okay.
That's the fucking best. You're getting Happy Meals and I'm taking your toys.
And the other kid was like, okay. And so we go in and Poppy's trying to like explain to her about BTS. And then they all get their toy. And I was like, but you can open them. Like, I will let you open them for the thrill of that, but I will be keeping them.
That's incredible. I love it.
You can do the unboxing.
Yeah, you can do the unboxing.
But then hand it the fuck over.
Your 46-year-old mother who just had her birthday and is 46 will be taking the toys from all the children from the Happy Meals, all the tiny little BTS tiny tans, and they will be mine. And is it fucking weird? Yes, it is. I accept that that is an eccentrically weird thing to do, and millions of people are doing it.
Can you picture this kid going home and being like, Poppy's mom got me a Happy Meal, but she wouldn't let me keep it.
She took the toy. They were probably like Santa Cruz. They're probably like, damn her for taking you there. I mean, again,
and did you had to get out. You had to get out and walk into.
Because there's no drive-through.
Oh my God. That's just a nightmare. I will say these are like the best toys they've had in a really long time. They're very nice. They're bigger than I expected.
Because also I feel like it's niche. Like if you're in the fandom or you're aware of K-pop, you're going to understand it. But if you're just like Joe Schmo, people are like, what is going on? Like, are we going to get like McDonald's tiny tan army that are going to be like, I looked up I had to know their names. I didn't understand what I was getting.
And that's going to turn them into army? Yeah.
That's going to turn them into army. That's going to be their origin story. This is what I would consider to be a frequently asked question.
Ooh. Segue.
So today is our uncensored episode, and we are trying to be a little more thematic to what we do in our uncensored. And what we thought would be fun this month would be to do frequently asked questions, because we, over the course of doing this for,
4
we're coming up
years.
our 3
We're
year,
co
we're coming
No,
up on 5
it'll be
years.
5. It'll be
Yeah,
5.
our
In
our
January, it'll
podcast
be
is going
5.
to kindergarten in January.
Our podcast is going to kindergarten.
That's
Right.
how old it's gonna be, ready for kindergarten.
Right. So this has been a long time. We obviously do have FAQs
And
because
so
we've
we
been
just
doing
thought we would
this.
like pull some that we've like kind of like just known about for a long time. We asked our Patreon to give us some. And then we also just like, there's some just fresher in the memory because they've come through like our Instagram questions or things like that. You know, people just contact us. And so we're just going to pull some favorites and answer some questions.
So I
So
think we're
yeah,
gonna
go
start
ahead.
with our patrons, right?
Yeah. So we
Because
had,
we put Sorry, go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
No, please, after you. I'm gonna suck on my water.
Do it sensually though. I need 2 hands and like grab it like soft butter.
Oh my God, guys.
I'm grabbing it more like a baby bottle.
You know, that's funky too. So we just threw out to our patrons like any FAQs that you haven't gotten a chance to give to us on the podcast itself. And the first one we're going to do is a series of questions, but we thought they were good. And so they all kind of come together and we'll unpack it as we choose to. And so this is from Emily B.W. So, how is it different now from the early days when you were all discovering new shows together? Do you feel like your watching identities are more set now? Is it harder to just fangirl out? And do you still surprise each other during podcast conversations?
I love this. I love all these
That's so
questions.
good.
I mean, I think the answer is like yes to almost everything. I feel like when we first started podcasting, we we did watch everything together.
Mhm.
And like we like always did these deep dives. And I think part of it is that we were covering a lot of like classics. So we kind of wanted to like watch the same thing. But and I also think we all were trying to figure out what we liked, like what we like. And so I do think that I'm not saying we're like set in our watching identities, but we definitely have figured out what we like more than especially like we did when we first started. I also think it's like it's easier for me to recommend dramas to you guys now because I do think I have a better grasp on what you'd like and what you don't like.
Yeah, I think that we also in the early days didn't even know like the breadth of what was out there in
Mm.
K-dramas, in K-dramas and C-dramas and J-dramas, like all I mean, this is a K-drama podcast, but we are all sort of branching out and watching, other Asian entertainment as well. And I think that we've learned like we started out on Netflix, right? It was Netflix and Hulu because I think What's Wrong with Secretary Kim was like, oh, Hulu has K-dramas too. And I think it was on Hulu at the time. Um, so it was also finding places to watch. And it wasn't until I think we found Vicky that we realized there is a shit ton out there. Um, and there's everything out there. And I think that's when we started branching and kind of finding our way is when we found out how much more there was.
We found
Uh,
Vicky. I have a mosquito. I have an elephant's memory and a mosquito's memory all together. Just depends on if I've hyperfixated on something or not. If I've hyperfixated, I will give you more information than you have ever needed in your entire life. If I have not hyperfixated, I don't remember anything. But I do remember how we came to Vicky. We came to Vicky because we heard about Goblin and we were trying to figure out what was up with Goblin. And then we did a deep dive and found out that there was a platform, Vicky. And so we fell into Vicky because we knew that Goblin existed. So it was like our 4th or 5th drama.
Right. And I remember I was like, "Oh, like what's this Vicky thing? I don't know if I want another app." Like now I have 5,000.
I just had iChi like refresh and I was like, God fucking damn it. I forgot
Yeah.
to cancel that. Like because I stop and start that one all the time and they got
Aichi, Tencent, Gaga Ooh La La, like the amount of stupid apps I have now, okay?
but yeah, I do think like to go back to that, I do think it's a yes to everything. And I do think that our drama watching has like we converge on some things, but I think we have, sort of diverged on our own paths of what we like to the extent where, like you said, Megan, like we can kind of be like, is Megan gonna like this? Is Leah gonna like this? If if one of us starts watching something solo, and also our listeners recommend to us, and some are so spot on that, like, I mean, just to give you an idea right now. So right now I'm watching my first J drama. I'm watching First Love. It's on Netflix. It's short. It's 9 episodes. Um, and one of our patrons, Gavin, just dropped into my DMs a couple weeks ago and he's like, I really think you would like this. And he gave Lovely Runner as a comp, which is kind of all I needed to hear, but it's not Lovely Runner at all. There's no time travel, but it is that kind of like back and forth between high school and present day, and like some things converging. I don't want to give too much away because there is definitely, like, you start out not knowing a few things and it kind of unfolds in the first episode, maybe episodes 1 and 2, and I really liked it. Like, it's not a huge shocker, but I really liked it. Um, and it uses a well-known trope very well. But I love this drama. Like, it is, and I think I've talked about this before, like, we talked about, like, Way Back Love, and we talked about, Mr. Plankton. Like, I think, like, melancholy romance is my thing, but, like, with a happy ending is even better, and I do
Yeah.
think that this is a romance that's gonna have a happy ending. I don't think Gavin would do that to me. Like, I don't nobody seems on the trajectory to be to be dead at the end. Um,
Good.
fingers crossed. Um,
You never know.
but yeah, but, like, I don't know, like, I feel almost, like, touched that, like, one of our listeners, like, recommended something to me that was so spot on, and I'm really enjoying it. So, yeah, I think that, yes, our tastes have changed, but I think our tastes have changed along with, like, not just us getting to know what we like, but, like, listeners getting to know what we like and recommending stuff to us as well.
And a couple things. So one is, I think when we started this, we didn't really have a clear vision of what we were doing. Like we've never made a secret that we started this haphazardly as a COVID keeping ourselves entertained project without clear vision. And did not expect, like, I did not expect to be doing it 5 years later. Like, I didn't expect it to, I guess I'd never had like a shelf life for it, but I just hadn't, like, if you had told me like in January 2021 we would be doing this in 2026, I would have been surprised. So, and now I have thought about it. I have thought like, okay, we've been doing this for a number of years. I really like it. Like, this is a built-in part of my life now, and I think we
Mhm.
all feel that way. And so for me to have longevity in doing it, I cannot have this feel like homework. I will be oppositionally defiant if that happens, and I will not be able to do, I just won't. Like, I'm not
'Cause
wired
we
for
used
it.
to do that. That used to be exactly how it was.
Yeah, we had homework and it was kinda like, you've gotta suck it up and do it even if you don't wanna do it. And so we have now extended a lot more grace. I do think there's times that you're gonna, like, take one for the team that maybe you're like, "Look, this isn't for me, but I'm gonna, like, go for it." But I do think I'm, like, much more wary to do it now because I don't want things to feel like work.
Mhm.
And so also with that being said, I also don't wanna have people have feelings hurt if they're like, please watch something," and I don't, because I don't wanna devalue somebody's, like, interest or goodwill in suggesting something. And if you like, you just I don't know how to say this, like, there's no way to say it except to say it. Like, if you know me and you know how like, if I'm at work and I'm getting paid and I just gotta do a job to do a job, I'm gonna do it. But otherwise, I'm just not. And so if it hits me and I'm into it, I'm just gonna do it immediately, and it might become my new obsession. And if not, like, that switch will either flip or it won't. And it might flip months later. It's just that, like, I have severe ADHD, and I will either flip the switch or I won't. And that has nothing to do with, like, the value of the thing. It's
Mhm.
just how my brain works. And if I try to flip the switch and force it, it just is a really tedious thing for me to do. And I'm determined to make this all feel like fun and pleasure as much as possible because I want to enjoy doing that. And I feel like if I don't enjoy it, that comes across and that's not very entertaining. And so I need to be enjoying whatever it is that I'm doing.
I love that
Um,
because
yeah.
sorry, I just wanna say I love that because I feel the same way. I know that um obviously in my DMs all the time, I get recommendations for people and I value them. Like I want recommendations. Thank you for giving them to me. And I do worry sometimes if I don't watch something that people will take it personal. And it's never that. I am very much a mood watcher. And I really have to be in the mood for a certain thing. And I'm a lot like Leah. If my switch flips and I randomly watch, if I randomly click play on episode one, that's just how it's gonna grab me. But I really, I'm the same way. If it feels like work, I'm not gonna want to do this. And I think that's part of why we've been able to be that's part of why we've been able to do this for so long is because we have adapted to make it continually be
Yes.
fun for us.
Yeah, and just to add on to what you're both saying, like I don't have the capacity to watch every recommendation that I get. And sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. And it's really just kind of random. So I just want to, toss that out there too, that if you do recommend a drama to me, thank you. And when I say I'm putting it on my list, I mean it. Like I do put it on my list. But what I start and when I start something is all going to depend on what's going on with me when I'm ready to start a drama. And
Okay. But do we so I want to say one thing and then I want to ask a question that dovetails on it. So do we still fangirl? I mean, I'm chasing that high forever. Like that's all I want to do. I only want to be fangirling. And so does it hit me as much as I wish it did? No, not right. Like lately, no. And not because of like I'm tired of dramas, just like not as much has grabbed me as I've wanted. And I'm always wanting it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes.
I think I was gonna say, I
But
think it hits me more when I discover somebody new in a drama, right?
oh,
Because
okay.
like I'm always gonna love me some Gong Yu. I'm always gonna love me some Lee Min Ho, but I don't think I'm gonna flip out over them like I
Mm,
did the first time I saw them in something. Whereas if I watch a new drama and I love a new actor, Lee Jae-wook in Alchemy of Souls, like I lost my mind.
Mhm.
Absolutely lost my mind. Byun Woo-suk in Lovely Runner, like I went I went hard on my fandom for that guy. And they keep getting younger.
which is the question we will be
I
bringing up.
know, I know. But that's what I mean. Like, so I do, and that makes me very happy when I get to sort of like deep dive a new actor and find more stuff to watch them in. That makes me really excited. And I still do get excited for, my OGs to have something new. Um, like we were talking about the new movie that's out. What's it called? Tangled.
Love Untangled.
Love Untangled. And that, there's a cameo from Gong Yu in that, which is, I mean, not a spoiler. It's like all over Instagram. Um, and that made me, I'd already had the movie recommended to me and then I saw that cameo and I was like, I'm excited to watch it just for that. Because I get to see Gong Yu just being kind of fun,
Mhm.
which I haven't seen in a long time.
Right.
Yeah, I think for me, it's not so much a new discovery. It's either being, what I'm chasing is you are competing every time I'm turning on a drama, it is competing with me going to do my BTS bullshit. So will this drama override that? Or will I be like, I'll watch an episode and then I'm gonna pop back over into like my super hobby. And so I'm always chasing the like, I'm gonna be gripped enough that it's gonna override that. And the last time it's happened to me that I was gripped enough that like I did nothing but watch it was Squid Game
Yeah.
in June. So it's been like 2 months since I've like been to where I was like not watching an episode and being like, that was good. Like I'm done for the night.
Mhm. Mhm.
I've got a new thing where I watch an episode in the bath. It's it's good. It's a good one.
That would be
So,
nice.
okay, that's so funny. So one of my local besties, Mindy, she won't care about me talking about this. She takes like 2-hour baths
Me too.
and like watches a movie and loves it.
Yes.
I hate baths.
Me too. Hate them.
Hate them.
Because I don't want to be wet for that long. You guys know me. I don't want to be wet for 2 hours. That is my personal hell.
I And you probably do the same thing. I'm like, "Doesn't the water cool off?" She's like, "Yeah, I just, like, drain some and put fresh
Yeah.
hot water
Like,
in."
top it
No.
up.
Nope. I don't like being wet that long either. I don't like being hot that long.
Neither.
I don't
I
know.
don't like hot tubs.
I don't
I don't go
actually
for 2
relax in a
hours, but
bath.
I do an easy hour. I do an easy hour. And so it's gotten to the point now where I'll be like, "I'm gonna go take my bath." And Poppy will want me to, like, snuggle her to bed, and she's like, "Are you gonna take, like, a bath or a mommy bath?" And I'm like, "I'm gonna take a mommy bath is like, I'm going like, goodbye to you."
Goodbye.
Understand though, how do you
This is
not
a
just
brand new
slip?
information.
No, I don't understand how people I think I literally don't understand the mechanics of a bath. Every time I've tried to take a bath, I just, like, my feet have nothing to get purchase on, and I just slide into the water. So I'm just like, I feel like
Not
I'm using
everyone is 4 feet 11 in the bath,
so
though.
I feel like I'm using so much core strength just to stay fucking afloat.
Little fucking slippery penguin in there?
Hey,
Because my
how
feet don't
big
touch
is
the
your tub? How fucking big is your tub?
Well, it's like I actually the only tub we have in our house right now is my kids, because I don't take a bath, and there's no way I'm getting in that one.
That's the only one we have too, and it's tiny, and I hate it.
Yeah, in the old house, it's a standard size tub, and I would my feet don't reach the other end,
So
like
there's
where you
you've
put them on
gotta
the wall.
maybe you need, like, a footrest, like a
I
blow up footrest.
well, I'm
But it
not
sounds
gonna.
like you don't like being wet,
I don't
so
like being.
So
I
I
don't
like
like.
to sit, I like to get some bubbles, I like to turn it up real hot. I want to be opening up my pores and sweating, and I'll watch and so that's why it's not been horrible, not like and when I'm saying I'm not being gripped, it means that I'm not having, like, a bad time. It just means that, like, I watch a show and I'm good, and then I, like, move on to something else. I'm not fucking moving until till dawn comes and I'm done with this thing. And
Right.
that's what I'm always wanting. I
Yeah,
always want
same.
that even though it's unhealthy.
I want that, and I don't think I've had that. I think the last thing I had that was Way Back Love, where I just
Yeah, I wanted
went
to, like, ruin my
went
life
to
for
town.
a few days. I wanted to that's what I want. I wanted to, like,
Yes.
actually disrupt my life for a few days where I'm, like, crying at, like, odd times
2
because
in the
I'm
morning.
watching it.
2 in
Yeah.
the morning, I wanna be losing my mind over Flower of Evil. Like, that's such a visceral memory, like, not being able to go to bed until I knew everything was okay, and then having to go straight on to Lawless Lawyer to make sure that Lee Joon-gi was okay.
Oh my god.
Okay, so just I think we're still going through this question. Jeez, oh man.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, it is good. This was not a question, but I think it just kind of like contextualizes what are we each watching right now? Because I think that is interesting.
Right, well,
Um
I already gave mine away,
Yeah,
but
I'll
y
talk about
yeah,
what I'm
go ahead.
watching because I'm really enjoying it. So this was a recommendation from a lot of our listeners, and I had my eye on it, which is AMA. So that is AEMA, and it's like all capitals actually. So for a long time, I think all of us thought it was like an acronym for something, but no, it's called AMA, and it is on Netflix, and it's basically the story of it's set in like 1981, and it's the story of one of Korea's first erotic films. I think it was erotic for Korea in 1981. And that was the movie. That movie was called Madame Ama. Madame. Madame Ama?
Madam?
Madam.
I think any are correct, frankly. I will accept all of the above. Madame Emma. I mean, look, be fucking fancy. Be fancy.
Remember when I said rockology for geology? Like this is like on my brain. Okay.
And you know what? Isn't language a wonderful tool
It
to play?
is. It is.
Because another
Anyway.
epic we get are you functionally illiterate sometimes? And
Yeah.
it's like, you know what? Gargle my balls.
Yeah.
If Megan
So
wants to say rockology, fucking let her.
yeah, let me say rockology. So anyway, I'm really liking Ama. So just real quick, so in back when the movie that was out in 1981 was shot, the lead actress was a brand new actress. And for Ama, the Netflix drama that's airing in 2025, they also cast a brand new actress for the role of Ama, and she has such a presence. I am very into her. Like, I'm just I want her on screen all the time. And I am very much enjoying the drama. It's only like 6 episodes. I told Amy and Leah that it's almost giving me like Quentin Tarantino vibes in the way that it's shot. So despite it taking place in 1981, a lot of it feels like really fresh and new in just the way it's presented. And also if you know Quentin Tarantino, you know he loves women's feet. There is like there's a surprising amount of women's feet in like episode 1, like the bare feet. I seriously was like, did Quentin Tarantino direct this? So I'm really, really enjoying it. I'm on like episode 3 now. I don't know where it's going. Like I literally am watching this with zero idea of what's happening, and all I know is I love the lead actress and the cast is really fun and it's very chaotic and I'm enjoying the ride.
I mean, you told me I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it's
we're gonna do it for the pod. Like I'm excited about it. We
pretty
had
cool.
during our Patreon live this past weekend, we had one of our patrons really recommended hard and she did a good job. So
She did. She sold everyone, I think.
I do wanna give a little bit more information about the J drama I'm watching because I really like it, and anybody who is looking for a sort of little bit of melancholy love, but it's second chance romance, which it's what I write the most, it's what I like to watch the most, it's what I like to read. I don't know what it is, and I've said this more than once, like, I don't know what it is about second chance romance because there is no second chance romance that I'm looking for in my life. Like, it's not like I'm trying to live out, like, some, fantasy. Like, I don't know what it is, but I love it. So, anyway, it is a second chance romance between 2 high school sweethearts, and it goes back and forth between like, you see them in high school and you see them in present day, and for reasons that I won't give away, they're not together about 15 years after high school. Both of them had these really, specific career aspirations. The hero wanted to be a fighter pilot and the heroine wanted to be a flight attendant, and because of things that happened in the past, neither of them are doing those things in present day. Their lives have just not gone the directions that they intended, including, like being together with each other. And I'm really loving the way that it's all coming together. I can't talk too much about it because there is, like I said, there's a big thing that's revealed in like the first episode, or maybe it's the beginning of the second episode that I don't want to give away, but it's very artfully done. Um J dramas are very different from K dramas. There is sex, there's nudity, there is a lot that I not that I was upset to see it, but I was like, "Oh, okay, so we're just going everywhere with this." So it is not, PG or G rated. Um the tone of it feels very much to me like past lives. Like it feels like an indie movie. It looks like an indie movie. And I'm really enjoying it. It's something different. But the tone of it is just something that I absolutely love. Like I love past trauma and coming together and trying to heal that trauma together and hopefully going for a happily ever after. I'm on like episode 7. There's 9 episodes. So I'm really excited to finish it. And it is one that if I didn't have writing to do tonight after we get off the pod, I would 100% be binging those last 3 episodes.
So it took me longer. I think I've been watching it for like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, and it's only 10 episodes, but I finished nevertheless. And look, I wanted to like it more, and I liked it okay. So here's the pitch I'm going to make on it. Do I think you both will like it? I think Megan might like it. I don't think Amy will. It's a little bit slower. It's a little bit, it's a quieter drama, but it's like a quiet, messy drama. I do feel like Duna was a quiet, messy drama, but Duna felt more, I guess it was shorter, and I was more compelled by Duna. And Duna had like some larger than life aspects with like the idleness and things like that I think moved it along. Um, but in this, I mean, really, I'm not going to give away the whole kit and caboodle, but essentially what I would say is I understand what makes some people frustrated in watching it. And here I have a suspicion that some of it is you want to watch idealism and you want to watch like in your fantasy, you want idealism. And this is definitely like what I liked about it is why I decided to watch it, which is it is more younger people. I mean, look, people are messy at any age, but people college aged who are trying out different things, still exploring who they are and what they want. And yeah, that shit is not clean. It was not for me. Like I can tell you, I was a messy, messy, messy cookie in college. And if you held up a mirror to many of the choices I made, I don't know if you would want to watch it as a relaxing, enjoyable drama. I think you'd be like, girl, what? No, stop. And so I would say ultimately it boils down to me of you see a girl whose head is like, no, no, definitely don't do this guy. Like, this is not good for you. But the heart wants what the heart wants. And that's relatable. And is it a good, like, and so I guess there were like some people that were like, this feels like a bad message. This is like going off with the red flag and being romanticized. I don't feel like this is an after school special that's like go with the red flag. Like to me, it's not. I know that we're going to talk about this question too. It's an adaptation and it does change from the adaptation. How the drama ends up is different than the adaptation. Interesting choices. Adaptations can be very true to source material and adaptations can change. And we will talk about that in a few questions at the very least. But for me, am I going to go back and read the webtoon to compare it and do a deep dive? I am not. I am not compelled enough to need to do that. I can watch this show and feel like I had a sufficient engagement with it. And I would say that for me, what I like about it though, and the reason why I'm going to give a recommendation is, so at the end of the day, I will recommend it. I don't think it's pretty short for, in 10 episodes. While I wish that there had almost been like I don't know if I wish there was more drama, maybe more stakes sometimes. Sometimes sometimes it's tedious to watch people be messy, I guess. Sometimes it's just tedious. Even if it's like normative, it can be a little tedious. But something I feel as if I've sensed lately has been as dramas have gotten more popular and more, like people like, you're looking to your consumers in the West and things like that. I feel like sometimes I feel like there's like a candification that happens of dramas. Whereas if I go back to like when we watched It's Okay, That's Love, or, you look at some of these like earlier dramas and they are, it's messier people being messy. And I feel like now it's a little bit more sexy people with some trauma being sexy. And that's fine too. Okay. But I don't want to just, I don't want just that. I don't want a diet of just that. And so for me, this was I would give this like a 7 out of 10, like 6.8 out of 10. And so, yeah. But I mean, look, we're all watching pretty different stuff and what we're attracted to is all different. And then I am going to start a JBL or no, it's not a JBL. I'm watching a Japanese drama, excuse me, not a BL, Cinderella's Closet. And it was recommended by Gavin too. I will say Gavin right now, like I do feel like if you're another person, you're like, what the fuck? Like, why is everybody watching Gavin's recommendations? Gavin, I guess you out there somewhere, you feel glazed right now and you feel good about it. This is not favoritism. It's just that like these recommendations.
He's just on our vibration right now.
And that to be said, I still have not watched Red Sleeve, which I genuinely want to be watching. I just haven't, like, I keep being like, I'm going to start Red Sleeve. And then like the night that I'm planning to do that, I like do something else.
Why did I think you already watched that one? You didn't.
Because I said I was going to start it like 10 times.
Okay.
50 times. And I still have every intention of watching it this year. And then I'll just see what happens. I do want to watch Madame Ema. I want to watch Ema, whatever. And look, do we still surprise each other was the last part of that very packaged question. I think I still surprise you too.
100% you still
Yes.
Amy doesn't really surprise me.
I don't think I surprise anybody.
But I think I surprised you both with the fact that I'm going to be realistic yet optimistic on the Genie drama that is coming.
But I'm down for the Genie drama only because I love Bae Suzy and I love Kim Woo Bin. So that's really the only reason. Does it look cheesy as fuck? Absolutely. I'm still gonna try it.
I
Does
think
it
I was
surprise
just
anyone that I'm not excited about it? Like, does that surprise you? Because I'm happy for you two. Uh, it does. I just
funny because you always branded yourself as being like, I love bonkers, but you like a very specific thing.
I do.
And
Yeah.
I feel like I wouldn't say that I lead with bonkers, but I certainly have I have a streak where I get the crazy eye and I want weird shit.
Yeah, I mean, so like by bonkers, I don't know how to explain that because I like a very specific type of bonkers. Like chicken nugget was too bonkers. But I still was entertained. I don't like bonkers if it's just not a good concept. I don't know. I'm very worried about this genie drama. I guess that's
I
I
think it
just
could be I mean, realistically, my prediction is it's going to be a hot bag of garbage and potentially culturally problematic immediately.
I think that's
And
my
I'm
biggest
willing
worry.
and I'm willing to hear it out. I'm going to give it an episode. Like it's going to be very evident very quickly. Like this, I do not think will be a bait and switch where like we're going to get one
No,
thing and then
no.
it's going to go. I think you're going to know
Right.
really quickly which
Right.
way it's.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're gonna get a heads up in episode 1. I think we're gonna get a heads up in the title screen.
And I want to watch it. I want to watch it. I am curious enough that I want to raw watch it day one drop. I don't want to, because that's the other thing is I do not want people putting in their 2 cents. Because even when I was like, do not spoil Squid Game for me. Do not out of anything. Like I have avoided this. Please God, just don't do it. There were
Wait, do you
still
wanna know
just
what's
like,
so awesome? Is that the Genie K-drama drops the same day as The Life of a Showgirl, Taylor Swift's
Ooh,
new album.
all right.
ooh. So
Well,
you could be like,
That's an exciting day.
that
That
is
is
an
an
exciting.
exciting fucking day for me.
I think I'd be more excited about one than the other.
I am.
But
I am absolutely more excited about one than the other. But anyway.
all
yeah,
right, let's
no,
go on.
I like I said, I'm not surprised by Amy. I'm continually surprised by Leah. So the things that I would say that I'm surprised at what Leah hyperfixates on sometimes. So sometimes I think she'll like something, but I'm surprised sometimes at how much she likes things. I don't, you know what I mean? Like the
I
way
feel
you.
bad for Megan because every once in a while Megan will like be like, I'm going to ask you a question on something, and I'm like, I am very sorry.
It's okay, but I know that about you, and I know that if I ask you a question, I need to be prepared for like a novel, and I'm fine. Sometimes I just can't read the novel all in one sitting,
Yeah,
so I
and
tell
Megan has
you.
really good boundaries. She'll be like, thank you for sharing this. I
Yeah,
need to go do other things. You
uh,
keep unpacking it.
I do.
I will come back later.
I'm like, keep typing with your little thumbs. I will be back.
And that's when I'll pop into the chat like maybe 15 minutes after this has started and just keep scrolling,
Hundreds of messages.
scrolling. And there'll be like an apology, like, Amy, sorry, we're just talking about such and such. And I'll get to the end and be like, somebody needs to give me the TLDR. Do I even need to read this? Like,
Yeah. And 9 times out of 10, you do not.
Correct.
It
9
just is
times out of
the
10.
only person who cares about it in the world is me. And, that's okay. It's just that I appreciate the courtesy of being able to talk about it sometimes. Let me talk about my special interest. Let me talk about a whale. And then you can be like, it's no more like extraordinary. Like now we don't talk about, this is not.
it's also when you are excited to talk about something, nobody types on their phone faster than you.
It's crazy.
I can't do it.
Leah's like, don't make me get a keyboard out. I don't want to do that. Leah's like, don't make me go to a computer. If I can't do it from my phone, I don't want to do it.
I only want to be on a full fucking keyboard.
Me too. It's the most millennial thing about me. It truly is. That I need a full keyboard.
And what does that say about me? Because I'm Gen X.
When's the last time Leah even typed on a keyboard?
I don't know.
Yeah. So I thought.
I know that theoretically my life would be better if I had the university set up the 2 monitors that are in my office in boxes.
You have? Oh my God.
And I have been in my job. I've been with these 2 monitors since 2022 and they remain in their boxes. I'm
I
like,
have an external monitor at home too, like my own. Like I can't just be on one screen.
I just have 1, 2, 3. I have 4 browsers open and probably 3,000 tabs in each browser.
Why 4 different browsers?
Because I don't know. I just do. I have Safari, I have Chrome, I have Firefox, and I have Edge. All going.
Why?
Remember when we used to remember when
That-
we would record
that-
remember Leah would be like, there'd be music playing when we would record
And you wouldn't know where it was. We're
She
like, it's
couldn't
you,
find-
it's not us. It's not us.
couldn't find the fucking tab that was playing music. She had to go through all 3,000 tabs to find the one that was playing music and shut it down. It happened more than once. Okay.
Yeah, look, I understand that I am a challenging person to
Anyway.
be around, but I can be entertaining. So Edge, anyway,
This is interesting.
yeah, see, something we didn't know
Yeah,
about each other. We are
seriously.
continuously surprising each other.
No, you are continuously surprising us.
Mm-hmm,
I don't think I surprise you guys at all. I feel like
No.
I'm pretty boring.
So I
No,
think
you're not
we-
boring. You just like you're.
I just am who I am.
Yeah, you
know
are
what?
who you
Tonight
are.
you surprised me, Amy. You surprised me tonight
How so?
because I did not realize you had that many Funkos. And I
I
didn't say
do.
anything when we started, but I did clock it. And I thought in my head, I did not realize that Amy had so
I've-
many Funkos.
And I've got 5 on pre-order.
I was just gonna say.
K-pop Demon Hunters on pre-order.
Okay. Which kind?
Um, So they have all the Huntrix girls. So they have Rumi, Mira, Zoe. They have Genu, and then they have Derpy with the bird on top. But if you know Funkos have super collectibles that are called Chase. So a Chase Funko is different than the regular Funkos, and 1 in 6 Genus will have the demon patterns on him.
So you get
So-
that, and then you're just wondering if they give you that or not.
Right. So you don't get to pick it. You just hope you get it. Like he's in the Soda Pop outfit, but the Chase one will have the patterns. So one thing I want to point out, so most of my stuff up here is BTS, right? But there is we've got there's J-Hope, then there's Moira Rose next to J-Hope. So it's all BTS, and then we get Moira Rose. On top of Moira Rose is Hook from Once Upon a Time. And next to Hook is Captain America.
I have Jon Snow. If you're watching on video, I have Jon Snow, and which this would actually lead into our adaptation talk, but it's the one where he has the scar on his eye, so it's after he came back to life. And then I have 2 Funkos right here. Again, if you're watching on video, I had a reader get those made for me. They're my book characters, and she literally she hand painted them.
Oh my gosh.
The
So,
one
man,
is
that's random.
the one is like holding a moon because the moon has like significance in that book. He like loves looking at the moon no matter where he is. It was the two characters went hiking on the Appalachian Trail. So the one has like a little backpack and they have like little boots. It's so freaking cute. So I love those. They're like a prized possession because they're one of a kind. And they look like Funkos. They like it's the same like kind of like base or whatever. And I do have to pre-order. I didn't do it yet. I need to pre-order my K-pop Demon Hunter Funkos. Yeah, well, I mean, so I would say my Jon Snow Funko Pop can kind of lead us a little bit into this is a frequently asked question or a frequent comment. And again, we've been doing this for 5 years. So even
we just
if
have friends, so we were like, let's do this one because we get this one like a couple times a year.
we get this one a lot, actually. We get I and from on all platforms. So I don't know if you somehow asked us this question or commented this at one point. We're talking about it over 5 years, and a lot of
Right.
people have said this to us. But it relates to adaptations and basically people asking us, well, did you read this? Did you read the original webtoon? Did you read the original novel? Did you read the graphic novel? My point is that obviously this is a we focus on K-dramas. Do we talk about books sometimes? Of course we do, but we also talk about books on their own merit. So if I read a book, I'm going to judge the book on what it is and how it's done. But when we watch a K-drama and it's an adaptation, that all I'm paying attention to is the K-drama. I don't necessarily really care about the source material. I mean, we mention in our podcasts if there is a web novel that it's based on.
Sometimes.
I mean, yeah, sometimes. But when it comes to the execution of the story, I don't necessarily care what's going on in the source material because it's an adaptation. Always, like a K-drama, it's a different medium. There are plenty of things that work in books that don't work in K-dramas, and things in K-dramas that don't work in books. Um, and so sometimes there'll be character actions or something that happen in the drama, and we'll say we didn't like it or something, and people will say, but that's the way it was in the web novel. And it's like, okay.
I still don't like it. Like, I still don't like it. Right, I
And it
still don't
might
like
have
it.
worked really well in the web novel. And I was thinking about this today, like an example of something that I did not read the webtoon of Business Proposal. I know that was a webtoon, correct? Business Proposal.
Yes, that was, yeah.
So the rain, let's just talk, I want to talk about the rain phobia a minute.
Please,
The
go for
rain,
it.
the rain phobia in Business Proposal did not work for me. I don't think it worked for most people. Because it's a little preposterous.
It wasn't a good enough trauma.
It wasn't a good enough trauma.
Like losing your parents is traumatic.
Correct.
But being traumatized by rain for the rest of your life.
Right.
Can I just say one thing about the rain and then make your point? I just want to say one thing too. It wasn't like, for me, it wasn't that deep. Like, I make fun of it because I thought it was kind of silly, and that it felt fair game to make fun of, and it didn't really impact overall. Like, I'm actually kind of glad there was rain trauma because the joy I've had in talking about it is high. So
yeah,
I'm going to say actually, like, while I like make fun of it, I don't make fun of it with like contempt. I'm like, you know what?
No, not at all.
I'm glad there was rain trauma.
No, it is a fun thing to laugh about.
It is hokey and good.
Yeah, I actually feel the same way, but I really do. I'm not like angry about the rain trauma. I agree with you. I actually find it to be a source of entertainment for me in regards to Business Proposal. But this is my point. In a book, or a web novel, I actually think you could do rain trauma that felt really real. Because in a book, you're going to get a character's like innermost thoughts. So maybe you're going to get him, maybe like the beating of the rain on his car, because that's like in the drama. He's like, he has a panic attack in the car over the rain. And maybe in a book, I think you could convey that in a way that feels realistic. I think you could have his thoughts. I think you could have him feel his heart pound in like time to the rain falling on his car. Maybe the smell of the rain is a trigger for him. Like, there's so many things that you can do in a novel that can make something like that feel very real and visceral in a way that does not translate to a K-drama. And again, I don't know what the source material is. It might have been just as hokey in the source material, but that's also what I'm trying to say is that so just because something works really well in a written like source in a written story doesn't always mean it's going to translate well to a drama. But that's also not, I mean, maybe one day we'll do that. We'll decide to compare a webtoon to its K-drama counterpart. Maybe that's something we can do, but that's not what we do. Because I don't want to. This might, I want to watch the K-drama. That made me laugh really hard. I want to watch the K-drama and I want to review the K-drama. So if you tell me, well, the K-drama did this because this is what the source material does, I don't really care because it's a totally
so the K-drama didn't
project.
have to. As far as I know, because I haven't sold movie rights or television rights to any of my books yet. As far as I know, when you sell your rights, what that means is you don't have the right to what they do to the story anymore. Unless you become a screenwriter, like on the project, which a lot of authors do that. Like they do.
You're E.L. James.
So that's part of it too, is that, okay, so you can say, well, the rain trauma was in the web novel. And again, we don't know if it was or it wasn't. You can say it was, but I can say, fine, doesn't work. Like, or whatever.
I'm using this as an example.
We're using this as an example. I'm not mad about, I love Business Proposal. I am not mad about it
and the hate
at all.
that is going to come, the hate, I like already know.
I know. We don't
love Business Proposal. Don't even like,
That's an example, people.
Like, my Anyosep love is real. He's
Yeah.
Genu. Like, yeah, like,
We love it.
So I
we're
want to
not
say a
coming for him.
couple things because I want to unpack. So for me, look, this is like we're doing this for entertainment. We are plausibly engaging in this content for entertainment. And the adaptation then either works as entertainment or it doesn't. Full stop. And that success on is it entertaining or not should not depend on the homework that we did beforehand. And when I say we, I mean like viewers, like not as like the podcast necessarily. You could say that like you want to hold us to a different lens because, we're sitting in a position of like discussing the dramas more like deeply sometimes or broadly, and sometimes we're not going to be. And it may feel too shallow for your liking. And that is a fair criticism. We are comfortable taking critique. But for me, at the end of the day, if something is entertaining or not on its face value, it really should not depend on what the viewer did for their homework. And I am going to stand and die on that hill. And I also understand that if people are like, that's fine for me at home on my couch watching something, but you as a podcaster should be doing homework every time, I'm going to say, as I've clearly already shared, I might sometimes and I might not sometimes. And I'm also comfortable understanding that like that may not always make people happy. And at the same time, I think that what I would hope that you would see in the course of 5 years of doing K-drama conversations is we have respect for K-dramas, K-drama communities, K-drama fandoms, K-drama creators, the entire process. If we didn't have respect for it, we wouldn't do this. And we're not here, like sometimes, yes, we do like dunk on things or have fun poking fun at things. I also feel like that's fair game. I get dunked on. Go look at my book reviews. People dunk on me like it is. I've talked about this with Megan recently. Like whatever it is about me just really makes people have strong reactions. And I get dunked on all the time. And so that doesn't mean that hurt people hurt people. It just means that like I don't feel mean spirited, nor do I feel like I'm going to just assume good intent that if somebody's like, I think Puck and Prejudice fucking blew and Jane Austen didn't die for this, I'm going to assume they are not laying in bed every night being like, fuck Leah Riley. I mean, I certainly hope not. Christ, it's a time travel hockey book. Like, calm down. But I'm just saying that like, you're going to get worked up in your feels of it, and you're going to like have a reaction, and that's part of it, and that's human. And so, yeah, all that to say is I think that the other thing is I don't like to read webtoons. I just don't. I've tried a few times, like especially towards the beginning, like the first 2 years, I'd be like, oh, like there was like a webtoon app and I was like, I'm going to do it. I just don't enjoy it. I live in a house of comic readers. Everyone in my house loves to read comics, but me. I just don't enjoy it. Does that mean comics are bad? Absolutely not. There's huge value. I live and love hardcore comic readers. But if I don't want to do it, like, why should I have to? And I'm not presenting this to be like a complete and unified theory of like the creative idea from like soup to nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, and also sometimes, like, I think we talked about this a little bit, like, sometimes with dramas too, um, it's vibes. Like, sometimes I just get, like, a bad vibe of a drama, and then I can't come back from the bad vibe. It's like I get the ick, and so maybe I don't, like, remember everything exactly that, like, happened in the drama, but it sorta doesn't matter because the drama already lost me,
You remember how
and
it made you feel.
yeah, and I like it's how sometimes it is just how it made me feel like because I got a lot of people were really mad about how I felt about my mister,
Including
and
me.
yeah, actually you and Amy were a little like Jesus, Megan, but
Um,
but here's the thing, I'm sorry, I started getting like it just didn't make me feel good. And then I couldn't come back from that. And I'm sorry. And so some people are like, "But you didn't get it. Like you failed to get the point of my mister." I didn't fail to get the point of my mister. I
It just
actually
wasn't for you.
yeah, it just wasn't for me. And it's okay.
And that's, I think that's something
here's
that
the
we're
other thing too,
learning.
and I'm going to just say this with kindness. Maybe you did fail to get it. And
Maybe I did.
And because there's going to be sometimes that somebody's going to be like, I don't think you got what that was trying to say. Like for me too. Maybe I
Mhm.
didn't. But
Yeah.
is that like personal failing or I mean, like, you're just sometimes just not going to connect into, you're not, it's not going to be like, so like you're saying, it's not going to be for you. And it may just be that message for whatever reason there could, and again, some of this could sometimes be problematic on our behalf. And I think that we all own that pretty honestly, which is sometimes there may be cultural nuances at play that are going over our heads and we're not connecting in the same way. And so somebody's going to be like, you're missing something. Like you're missing the point. And I think that in those instances, we have to have cultural humility to say, okay, like fair point. And, I wish that I didn't have gaps. And I'm going to. I mean, I think we've done better at closing the gaps. Just like, are we sometimes going to mispronounce a character's name or a word? Still, yes. And that doesn't mean, hey, it's okay. I don't care. Take it or leave it. I don't feel like that at all. But I also think that like and this isn't even meant to be defensive. I'm just like now worked up about it. But that's another thing is we also like frequently asked questions will be like, do you not like respect the Korean language or something? And it's like, yes, I do. And frankly, I'm mispronouncing a great deal of English words as well. And that again isn't trying to mock it. It's not trying to like have a racist blind spot. I should do better and I have a responsibility to do better. And if people want to call me out and say you got that name wrong or that word wrong still, fair point. And I think again, like I also am hoping that we've been like laying down a foundation of trust for some people. And for some people, trust will be broken and they'll just choose to like disengage. And, that will be the end of the relationship they want to have with the podcast, which would be always unfortunate. And also I understand that like life is a journey and we're all on our own journey.
Yeah, there's an outtake that sometimes we'll publish that's me trying to pronounce, God, I don't even know if I can pronounce it again, diaspora, right? Did I
Yeah, diaspora.
because I said diaspora. Yeah, there's an outtake of me trying to pronounce that isn't I mean, it's not a Korean word. I don't know the actual origin. We need a spelling bee person on here to tell us the origin of that word. But let me tell you how I just struggled at this podcast. I couldn't say madam. Okay, like cut me some slack. I can't even say my like my
I mean,
real
here's
like
the
or
thing is
my
like, yes, cut slack, but also it is different when like you're like mispronouncing your own language and there should be like a baseline level of respect. I'm just saying all that
yes.
should say that like I'm aware of it. I take it seriously.
I do too.
And at the same time, I think that it is easy to sometimes assume like laziness that again, maybe I need to do more reflection, but sometimes it's not like I sometimes feel as if, especially when it comes to the adaptation question of like, why didn't you go back and do X, Y, and Z related to X? And people feeling like, it does weigh into like, some things of like, you're just not doing your due diligence. I would love to entertain those conversations. No, I don't actually. I just think that like that one might not be for you and that's okay. And I want to also not like invalidate your perspective and that you were able to engage in source material. This world was bigger and richer as a result. I've had things where I know the source material really well. I watch content that like underplays it. The people I'm with don't enjoy it as much. And I'm like, man, just like, you get that thing like the book was better or this part was better. They do it so much better here. And that is part of what the entertainment experience is all about sometimes.
Yeah, you want people to love it as much as you do because like based on your first experience of it, which a lot of times your first experience is a book. And then if the
Yeah.
movie doesn't adapt well, you're like, "But read the book." And I understand the people are like, "I don't want to read the book. I just wanted to watch a 2-hour
Right.
movie and be entertained," and I wasn't.
And I also understand the pain because I think this also dovetails into like, I'd say one of the most common questions that we get besides, I think, please watch X or pitches are the most common. Like,
Mhm.
when will you watch X is like X, Y, or Z as an example is probably the most common question. The next most common question is like, why did you not like X, Y, or Z? Or something about like, a disappointment that we didn't like something. And with that, I think that like some of it is just like, I do have like a part of me that's just like, because we all don't like everything, and that's like how the world works. And then there's part of me that also does have a lot of sympathy for it, because the world is also hard. The world also is really divided. And when you come together and shared love for something, you feel seen. And when somebody's like, you know what, you like that thing, I don't like it, it also makes you feel like you are not being seen. It makes you feel I mean, again, somebody at home not feel like that, but for me, that's my feeling. Is if somebody doesn't like something I like, I feel less seen by them, and I feel more of a distance, and that can hurt when I want to feel more connected to a person. And
Yeah.
so I respect that there's an ouch there sometimes, even if like it's fun to be like, like the end of my demon will make me mad forever, and I will histrionically freak out about how much I hate it forever. And I'm not trying to cause damage to somebody who's like, that might be my most favorite drama ever. And I feel like, I have a distance with you, Leah, because of what you've said.
My parents the other day were like, "Oh, did you watch that show, Ted Lasso?" I don't know. We watched like one episode and we're just not into it. And I was like, "Excuse me?" I got so offended. I was like, "I can't even talk about this. I can't even look at you right now." I was so mad. And I thought to myself, now I sort of get
Josh is gone. So she's been gone for 8 minutes. She's on a phone.
My computer's just not
Oh.
turning up.
you scared me. I was like going like this, and then your voice suddenly appeared from the ether.
No, my computer's just like fully not turning on
Okay.
right now.
So here,
We
like,
can just finish it.
Yeah, but like what we were talking about when you were gone is it should have been a really big red flag when you admitted to how many browsers you have running at once and how many tabs you might have open. Like, that's why your computer's shitting the bed. Because
Yeah,
it's doing too much.
maybe that's why.
Okay. Yes, I can admit. Is it still? It's still recording, right?
We've been recording this whole time. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna cut it out.
No, I think we need to have this part first.
This part. Okay. So yeah.
So mea culpa, everyone. Do not have 4 browsers running when you're trying to record a podcast, or your computer may shit the bed. But I'm back.
Amazing. You're back. You rallied. I'm impressed. I'm
on my phone. The quality is less than amazing. And you know what?
It's better than it was when you were on your laptop.
Yeah, I actually think you look great.
Great. So,
and your lips are moving in time with your voice.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
Yeah, let's keep going.
My computer's beginning to reboot now. Just as an FYI to anyone who's on computer deathgate, it doesn't look dead forever.
So yeah, so like a
your
recommendation.
Your computer's probably like, put me out to pasture. Like,
your computer's fucking exhausted.
My computer is ET at the end of ET. When it's like in the bed and ET's like, Elliot. That's my computer.
Like his skin is sloughing off. Like, yeah.
That's my computer.
Okay, Amy, sorry. What were you going to say?
I use things hard.
You do. Like your Birkenstocks.
My Birkenstocks. My lovers.
Look,
my
Birkenstocks can take it. Your fucking laptop cannot.
Birkenstocks can take a beating. Your computer is like, help me.
Your computer is a precious, dainty little thing.
Okay, well, I will sit down tonight and I will give it dirty talk and I will treat it right.
Yeah.
Just close 3 out of 4 browsers when you're recording.
Hey, yes. Good. And for anyone at home listening, being like, does Leah ever admit she's wrong? My husband thinks I do not. I do. I do admit when I'm wrong.
Yeah. I mean,
so I at first was like, Leah must have bad MIPS, but I was like, no. It's 4 browsers.
We're not blaming
4
the
browsers
MIPS.
working at the same time.
The MIPS, I don't think it's not the MIPS tonight.
It's not the MIPS are doing their best.
So, okay. But that being said, we did have a question that I want to touch on because it's imprinted in my brain. And it was this. It came from the Patreon. And it was, because Amy is a librarian, does she do all the research for the show?
Do we want to give credit where credit is due for the question? Because
Go ahead.
So this is
I
from
don't
our
have
friend.
it in front of me, so I don't know what the username is. I just have this in my brain.
This is from our friend Jimmy.
Okay.
And look, librarians do a lot of research. There's no fucking doubt about that. But we put together very loose scripts for every episode because we can't totally raw dog it. I mean, we're raw dogging it tonight, but even tonight we have notes. Um, in the very beginning, we scripted every fucking word we were gonna say because we
Every
were so scared,
word.
so
Yeah.
scared of ums and just forgetting. But now we put together loose scripts, and whoever is doing the script for the week does the research, and we switch it off. Like I know that question was asked, a little bit facetiously, but truthfully, we do a shit ton of research for every episode that we do, and we often quote
I do
that
not.
research. No, you do. You do.
I do sometimes. I will say I sometimes do research. I pick and choose when I feel like there is a need to deep dive something. And I don't think that I feel like I have that need going into every single
When we did
podcast.
emotional intelligence,
You did
Leah,
a
when you
good
did the
job.
script for emotional intelligence, there was a lot of research for that.
Yeah. So I'm not underpinning. I guess what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say is there are times that I feel like I do, and there's times that I feel like I don't.
Sometimes I
And
don't think it's needed.
and that I think might be maybe where and I don't ever want to make somebody feel called out for a question. So I'm going to say maybe that's where like curiosity among listeners comes up is like, when do you pick and choose that? Like sometimes things may feel more research, sometimes they may feel less than. And so does that mean that like you're phoning it in or you don't care or what it like? I don't know what that question, like, I don't know. And it's not my responsibility or need to know. I'm just saying where I like how I kind of would like view the lens. And I would say there are times that I have curiosity that I want to unpack, and that's going to lead me into rabbit holes that I'm going to explore. And then there's sometimes that I feel like the thing I'm more interested in talking about in the drama is the vibe of it. It's never, I would say the thing that I don't feel like I'm a lazy person. And I'm not saying that from a point of view of defensiveness, but I feel like I am either curious and want to know more, and then I want to know everything, or I am wanting to talk about like, yeah, how did the drama make me feel, for example, might be like the thrust of that conversation. And like what I'm most curious about in it is like, how did you all feel? How did we feel like the story beats went? And then sometimes it's going to be more kind of like, yeah, we're going to want to talk more about like what are the origins of emotional intelligence, like academically, and then how do dramas tie into that, which takes more research.
To to just kind of go off of what you're saying, there will be like certain, I think, like triggers to want to do more research, like you're saying. Like, so when we did K-pop Demon Hunters, um, and especially because I watched, the movie 4 times. I don't think I'd watched it 4 times before we recorded on it, but like I watched the movie at least 3 times before we recorded on it. And it is like I have trained my algorithm. Like my Instagram and my TikTok algorithm is almost all K-pop Demon Hunters lately. And I started seeing stuff in my algorithm that I didn't pick up when I watched the movie because I don't know the connection to Korean history, right? And so, when we're talking about like the paintings that have the tiger and the magpie and stuff like that, like I didn't know all that. And of course, that enhances the understanding of the movie. And so, because I started seeing that in social media, I researched it more so that we could talk about it when we talked about the movie because I wanted to have that sort of accuracy. But if I don't have a hint that there's something that might need a little bit of a deeper dive, then I'm not doing it. Like, and again, like also not lazy, but like this isn't homework. This is joy. We created this because we enjoy doing it. We created this podcast because we wanted to watch dramas that entertained us and talk about why they entertain us. So, yeah, I think that there's a time and a place for research, but I don't think it's a requirement to enjoy every drama.
I also think that, look, if like a drama didn't like stir a lot of emotion in us, like we're not also gonna feel compelled to like necessarily
Right.
research it because I think we're just gonna want to be like, hey, we didn't vibe with this. We didn't vibe with this drama. Whereas if we're really passionate about a drama, sometimes then we become we become more curious and we want to deep dive it and things like that.
So one example I can think from this, and I didn't like, I truly don't want to be in a position where like, because I don't do this in book spaces at all. I don't want to be doing it in podcast spaces. So I'm going to talk generally about it, but it's also a good story and I want to tell a story because it's good. Well, I mean, I think it's interesting at least is where like this all comes together for me is again where it comes where somebody's like, I feel like you miss a point on something. I feel as if maybe like you didn't pay the source content enough curiosity. Like there's one drama I can think of where this really like this felt like somebody had a reaction to it that I don't know who they are. Like they're a person in the world and they had a lot of feelings about it. And I know that I was very glib with this drama, incredibly glib. And that was The Sound of Music.
Sound of Magic.
Magic. Sorry. Sound of Magic. I'm sorry. I love the Von Trapps. I have a Captain Von Trapp fetish. Just let it be. The Sound of Magic.
Funny. Yeah.
I did not connect with that drama, and there are people who did. And both are okay. Both reactions are fine. And when we were like cleaning through like YouTube recently, we found somebody who really, they did not like how we viewed the movie. They did not feel like we they were upset, basically. Like there's no way I'm not going to mince words. They were mad. They were big mad.
They were big mad.
And they wrote a lot of their feelings down, which fair game. Like this is absolutely, there is a comment section on YouTube. It's just that we hadn't made it a habit. I had never even considered looking to see.
No, before we started doing video, I was uploading our podcasts to YouTube just with like a static logo and our audio, right? Just so we had something going on YouTube. And it would notify me of reviews when I would upload stuff, but it was almost always like bot stuff. And so I just stopped reading them. And I missed some good stuff.
Yeah, because when we finally started uploading like videos just recently, with our faces and everything like that, just to, like
Come say hi on YouTube. We're
yeah,
there now.
very excited. And I was like, and in the process of being a little bit more involved in YouTube, I was like, oh, you can see all our comments here on what, all the comments that people have left us. And this person had commented on The Sound of Magic
years ago.
It was 2 years ago at this point.
Maybe more. I honestly 3 maybe.
I honestly feel bad because they felt they wrote a novel. Okay.
It was paragraphs. Yeah.
It was paragraphs. They feel very strongly. They were very mad at us. Like it was and we never read it for 2 years because I'm sorry. We didn't really know. We didn't really know.
Don't say sorry. This is your people pleasing coming out. So first it was just like, it was one of those things to be like, am I bothered somebody wrote it? Not at all.
No.
Do I feel bad that I didn't see it? Not at all. I mean, there was no maliciousness in not seeing it. And I'm not sure what it served to see it or not see. I mean, like constructive feedback has its place. I don't know if this was meant to be constructive. I feel like this was cathartic, which again, fine. It just became like those things where it's like, I think what I'm bringing it up under the like the auspices of is it makes me think that like sometimes to be able to do this candidly, because Amy had talked about how at the beginning when we first started, we wrote everything down because we were afraid. There was a lot of fear in it. And you can tell in the way I disclaimer everything I fucking say. I have a lot of trauma around like being misunderstood or, so I try to like put disclaimers up and it drives. That's feedback we also get is like, I wish Leigh would stop with like half of her disclaimers. I will not. This is what I do. And so I think that within all that, I've had to release fear of making people mad at me or disliking me or thinking I'm stupid or feeling like I'm disrespectful. Like that doesn't mean that I don't care and I feel free to cause harm and, whatever. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I've had though to release. And I mean, if you think about it as a listener, like sometimes I forget, even we'll bring on a guest for the pod and they'll be like, I'm really nervous. I'm really nervous to come on and say something. And I'll be like, oh, you don't need to be, like, it's just us. And then it's like, no, I'm not nervous about you. I'm nervous that like the world will have a record of my words that they can come back and pass judgment on and personalize and make judgment calls on like me as a human being. And I always have to be like, yeah, you're right. And I have that too. I just have to turn that part of my brain off every week I do this, every time I sit down to write. And I'm not always successful doing it writing. I've been procrastinating on a book proposal that I've been doing. And I've had to really sit down and be like, procrastination is fear
Mhm.
being manifested. I am afraid that I can't execute something on
Absolutely.
some level. And so I am dicking around doing everything else that's not working on my book proposal because I am afraid for different reasons. And I can't procrastinate on the podcast. We do this every Wednesday. So I have to take whatever my fear switch is and be like, nobody has to be here. And so that's what gives me peace, is that like I want people to be here. I want to do this with others. I like to engage in this community. And I have to be comfortable with the fact that sometimes people are going to have negative reactions. I guess what I would just hope is that, like, let's hold each other with like human respect and hold me accountable if I am making problematic things that like you feel like you need to call me out or in for. And also realize that, like, we are people too, just like we also need to do the other side, which is like, that person who wrote that thing, like, there's part of you that's like, it's so bad it's funny, like we were saying, like you're like, oh my god, this person was so mad and like
Oh my god.
whatever, but that person's just out living their life. I mean, I'm sure they've never listened to us again, but like there's a person out there. They're probably like a person that would, help a lady, a pregnant lady give up their seat for a pregnant lady. They'd probably help an elderly person cross the road. So I'm trying to like also say that like within you sometimes see people not at their best self when they're upset,
Oh yeah.
especially upset over something that feels like they've been personally like hit in like an ouch and like you're not liking something and they're feeling invalidated. And so you have to kind of like do that logic leap of like, because the first reaction when somebody's like mad at you is to be like defensive. And we have to work really hard to just not feel as defensive. And I think it does kind of go both ways between like how we behave and listeners behave. And this was not at all what I expected to talk about tonight, by the way. Like this is completely diverged into something different. But I think that also just mirrors critical dialogue that needs to kind of happen just like in many spaces right now, too.
Well, I think so. I kind of mentioned this. I have gotten really good at criticism of my books. And I think part of that, like, I've really learned to distance myself from like the final product of my book. Like, that is what it is. It's out in the world. And if you want to comment on it, you can comment on it. And have really been able to, I'm still proud of it and I still own it and all those things. But I've been able to separate myself personally from criticism of my book. I've really gotten good at that, and that was something I was horrible at when I first started writing. If there was any criticism of my book, I thought it was like a personal attack on me. I think that's and I've gotten really, really good at that. Sometimes the podcast is harder. I think I'm still pretty good about when we get criticism of the podcast, but I do think it is a different thing because it does feel a little bit more like direct criticism on us because this is us. The product is a little bit more ambiguous because it's just a podcast of our it's not like a tangible book or like a work. It's like us talking. So sometimes if there's like criticism, it does feel more personal. And I don't think it is, and I don't think people mean it to be. Um, but that's something that I've like really had a lot of thoughts on and how I personally handle that. But I would say overall, the experience of podcasting, um, I love the personal growth it has given me because I do think that I have gotten better at listening to other people's opinions in a way that I hadn't been able to before for the most part, even though I did get offended when my parents didn't like Ted Lasso. I got over it. And I think part of
I'm
it
not
is
I'm
even
not over it.
yeah.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, they were like I said I didn't want to talk to them. I was like, "How can you?" not like Ted Lasso, and I told them to try again. But then I got like then I like was like, "Oh my god, Megan,
Leah,
don't."
she did talk about it on the podcast night. You probably missed it because you had too many browsers
Right,
open.
you had too many browsers open. Um,
Thanks.
but I think part of
Told
it
him.
too
Told him.
is like discussing things with you guys because we disagree to each other's faces. Like I'm looking at you while you're like,
And
I don't like that thing that you liked. And in all honesty, I think that's been really good for me. I don't know about have you guys feel the same way? I've actually really been able to do a better job about I think I've matured a lot in 5 years just from this podcast.
I do think that we've had growth, but I also do think that we're still human.
Of course.
I do still notice myself, like my immediate reaction is always going to be emotional because I am an emotional person and my immediate reaction is always going to be emotional. If it's something that I feel strongly about, I don't feel strongly about our discussion of Sound of Magic, so I don't have an emotional reaction to that. Like I think it's beautiful that Leah can picture this person giving up a seat for a pregnant person or, helping an elderly person cross the street. I think that's great. And I hope that I love that journey for that commenter. But like I also can separate myself, from comments like that and kind of go like where Leah's going with it and be like, they had an initial emotional reaction and they just went with their knee jerk and, like hit the keyboard and wrote to us. And I do think what I am getting better at as far as growth, because again, I react emotionally to everything. I don't show it. I'm not somebody who wears my heart on my sleeve, but it's all in there. And I'm going to be one of those like people, like a K-drama character who keeps it all like just push it down and then it's going to explode. Um, but I do. And what I think is great that we have this thing that we do together is that when I do have those emotional reactions, I can let it out with you two privately and then react like a mature human being when we're on the podcast. And so I think that that is my growth
Mm.
in my emotional reaction to, because you're right, Megan, like people commenting on our podcast is much more personal than commenting on our books because you're not commenting on something that I made. You're commenting on something that I said.
Right. And it's harder. It is. It's
And it's
something
different.
yeah.
and there's something okay, so and I think there's like, well, first, I'm not I'm not I'm not even gonna say Mother Teresa. Oh, what a tired reference.
Okay, boomer.
I think when I'm reaching truly, when I'm reaching for my best self, I try to picture, everyone's going on their journey
No,
that may
I
or
think
not be
that I
fun.
think that's great.
And
I'm not like
no,
making
but
fun
you
about
also
that.
know me, and I think that like anyone who engages with me a little bit knows that I am an absolute goblin. An absolute goblin. And so if I have caused actual harm to somebody, like I've done something, where really like I have crossed a boundary of trust or hurt, that's the shit that keeps me up at night and I feel bad about. That doesn't happen, luckily, a whole lot. But if it's something where it's something like that, which is like, oof, but like kind of like, it's kind of funny too. I'm sorry. I am a goblin. And, there is a clip, and if you follow my personal social media, anytime it comes up, I share it because every time I see it, I'm like, I am a monster and I'm going to share it because I think it's funny and it's me every time. And it's from Wednesday. And she's like, I can't remember exactly what it is right now. I just like, now I got too excited and I'm going to fuck it up. But it's basically like when people don't like me, I secretly enjoy it. And I think that's how I've like trauma processed things now. Like like I'm like, when some people like I get a little thrill when somebody gets like really irate about something that is like not serious. Like if it's serious, fine. But if it's like, look, I'm telling you, this time travel hockey book pissed off like half the planet.
Before it was even released.
Yeah. And so this dovetails into the point I'm trying to make, which is if there's a space like on our Patreon, we have chats that I will go into sometimes, but like if people are talking amongst themselves, I feel like that is a like viewer engagement space that I don't need to necessarily weigh in. I don't need to defend myself. Like that's a place for people to have reactions and process because we get to do it on the podcast. People have the right to be able to be in spaces where they can do that. And I have a lot of respect for that. So if anyone has ever been on our Patreon being like, I've noticed that like it's Leah doesn't really dip into like, criticism conversation. I'm not afraid of any of it. I just don't feel like it's my place to engage. Like it's not my spot to do that. That's a spot for like other people to do that. It's for me a form of respect. But if you come into a DM to be like like I am looking for like what was the one recently where it was like I can't remember what the person called me. Like the other like it was like Megan and it was about K-pop Demon Hunter. And they were like
Oh.
upset that apparently I wasn't. I was like, I felt like I was actually I liked it.
They were like,
Yeah.
the other one
But the
ruined
other
it.
one,
The other
you know,
one.
And so I was the one who got the response. Like I was the one who I opened up the inbox and read that I was being addressed as the other one. And I will say that for me in that case, like, did I reach for my best self? No. Was I like pressed and was it going to ruin my day? No. Did it hit me in like goblin delight? Yeah. Cause I was like, that's pretty bad. And that's kind of funny.
It was a little funny.
And so, but so I think that's different. Like, so for me, I'm going to have a different reaction if it's a DM versus like general discourse because general discourse feels very different. But if you're like Leah or the other one or Megan or Amy, like that's when I'm going to be like, okay, like this is a direct shout out and I'm going to have a
Yes.
different reaction, just like I would in writing if somebody comes into my DM to be like, I need to tell you why I'm unhappy with you. Whereas I'm like, there's 9,000 places in this world where you can talk about this. Go on YouTube and make a video like everyone else. Go on Book Talk and like do your thing. Like, and I'm also making it seem like everyone hates it. They don't. I'm just exaggerating because it's fun to be hyperbolic. I'm just saying that like if you have a feeling, like there's many places to take it. But if you come and you're like, I need to tell you directly as a creator, then yeah, I think it's fair to say that there's going to be like, I just tend to just let people have their feelings.
Wait, let me make the analogy. Isn't it like we're the source material and they're reading our adaptation?
Oh my gosh, look at that, Megan.
Look
Dang.
at that. So we need to
And-
remember that they're reviewing our adaptation, not the source material.
Isn't it fun? Really? I mean, like, and I think that's the thing I like put back is just like, isn't it kind of cool that you can have exchanges like this? And for sure, I would say that we definitely have like a brisk inbox of things like more than people may expect sometimes, honestly. I'm always surprised at like how busy it can be. And we're not like famous. We're not famous under famous. Like I said, we're not famous. I want to be like, we're like, it's not, there's nothing to, this is not a volume of, I think what I'm trying to get at is it's not a volume that it's not seen. Like sometimes it feels really busy and that's good. Like there's a lot of engagement and I think that that's awesome. And I think it's because this material just gets us all so excited to like talk about and discuss. And I think that's super cool. What I'm going to do when I see stuff is to try to hold it in the spirit of, isn't like, that's a curious reaction. I should care about it. Don't think I need to lose sleep over it, but I should like, see, is there growth here for me? Is there a lesson here for me? Or is there like, how am I want to take it? And out of anything that's happened in this entire podcast that I can say that I've had I won't say it's the only one, but it's the one that I will come back to the most. I've had a lot of growth experiences, but a significant growth experience for me happened with Megan on this podcast.
I know exactly what you're going to talk about.
Yes. It's not like I've talked about it before. We've talked about it before, but it was around the movie Sabak. And I said, this movie's stupid. And it hurt Megan.
My feelings were slightly hurt.
Yes.
Slightly.
And
Not
I
bad,
was,
but
and I was surprised I'd hurt your feelings, honestly, because I'm a goblin. And I was like, why would your feelings be hurt over like me thinking this is stupid? And then I was like, oh, because in me having kind of a glib reaction to this, I'm taking something that you found value in, saying it's stupid, and then therefore like it's a pretty easy extrapolation then to be like, so it feels like a bit of a personal attack. Like I wasn't thinking of it in a personal lens at all, and then had to be like, oh, this makes perfect sense. Like what you're saying is true. I'm being an insensitive asshole and I need to reframe what I'm doing. And in the future, I've tried to do that in a way to say that like, if I don't like stuff, I don't want to just be like, it's stupid. I want to like kind of engage with why I don't like it, for better or worse. Like you still may feel like that core of this is stupid, that kind of is coming out. But I don't want to make people feel minimized. Like I think I am comfortable disliking something, but I'm not comfortable making somebody feel like I am mocking.
Yeah, and I learned from that experience too, because I'm
Same.
sure I have done that. So I thought about how that made me feel in the moment, and I was like, "Oh, well, I don't want to be doing that inadvertently either." So, I think that was also just like a learning experience. Which
Right.
that's
So
what I'm saying, I've learned so much.
every time you want to have a knee-jerk reaction and call something stupid, you remember how much Leah hurt you
Yeah, well,
and you don't do it.
I mean, right. I mean, I
You're
wasn't
like, I
that
don't want to
hurt.
be like that fucking
No,
bitch, Leah.
I wasn't that
No,
hurt.
I'm
I just
kidding.
remember being
I'm
like
kidding. No,
I
I'm
remember
kidding.
being like, "Leah, don't say
Like, hold up
that.
a minute.
Like,
Yeah.
hold
Yeah.
up." But I know I've done the same thing, so I also wasn't like Leah wasn't like an anomaly in that.
No,
You know
I
what I
just
mean?
feel really comfortable saying that neither of you got Mr. Queen. And I feel okay with that. I mean,
And that's fine.
I feel disappointed for both of you because you missed out on something
Again,
really good.
I think we
There's a
agreed
But
on
I will
tone.
this.
give shit.
There's
Like
a tone. There's a tone.
yeah,
And I don't enjoy the tone.
I like to be a little spicy.
No, but I mean that's the fun way to do it, right? Like you can say like I love this thing and you didn't get it, and that's different than saying this was stupid. Therefore, anybody who likes it, is stupid for liking it.
Or you
And
didn't make an effort to like it.
No,
right,
and
and
I
we've
also
talked about it, and we talk about this often where we say we don't want to yuck anybody else's yum, and that is truly, I think, the heart of this podcast is we don't want to make anybody feel bad for what they like. But we also are not going to sugarcoat if we don't like something. Like we're allowed to not like something. And
yeah,
I think that's okay, but there's a way to frame it,
and
I
I also
think.
think I've had an epiphany too that sometimes just because I don't get something doesn't mean I'm dumb. Because that's kind of like a personal thing for me. I don't like to like feel dumb even when I mispronounce diaspora. I like and so sometimes I also have to be like I didn't get it, and that's also okay. It's okay that I didn't get it. It's okay I didn't connect with it. That's okay. It
But
doesn't mean
sometimes
I'm
I
stupid.
also think like here's the thing too, is the work can handle that. Like I guess what I want to say is what if we just considered for what if you viewer, us reactor, us creator, like people listening are creators, whatever. Disclaimer is the work is existing, be it the book, be it the show.
Mhm.
The work can handle, like if you're like I don't get that, like I watched it and I don't really get like what I'm supposed to take out of it, the work is going to be okay. And I could have watched it and been like, I got so much out of it. I saw so much out of it because I have different experiences in life. I have a different worldview. There were things I was picking up. Maybe I wasn't exhausted that night when I watched it. Maybe I hadn't just had a fight with my partner. Maybe I have had an experience that's related to that. So I saw it and I was like, oh my God, I get it so hard. Like Duna, for example. Pretty much everyone was like, Duna blew.
They
And I
hated
was
it.
like, my show of the year.
All
Sorry,
three
but I
of us
stand by
loved
it.
it, though. That's what I
We
think is
did.
so funny about that. Like,
We
all
did.
three of us loved it.
And so there's just things like that that's just like, so Duna's going to be fine. And if you saw Duna and you didn't get it, or you got it and you're just like, I don't like it, like whatever it is, like that is going to be okay. It's still existing for everyone to have their reaction with. And you know what? Good, because we should be having reactions and we should be having feelings. And again, that's not yucking yum and being personal. Stuff is there. I'm not writing something for it to be like, I had no feeling. I read this and had no emotion. So that's what, like, if somebody's like, I'm mad, I'm like, well, you were mad enough that you looked me up and like found me to tell me you had a feeling. And like, oh, and this is over like a book. So like, okay, like I'm glad, like, you know,
Isn't there
and
some
sometimes
sort of saying that's like the death of art is like
neutrality or
it's
like,
just
just
okay?
Yeah.
it's
Like
okay.
yeah, like good art is going to be like I either hated it or I loved it. Like you
Yeah,
want
my
to
worst reviews are when people are like, meh. I'm always like, fuck. I like it
Yes.
when somebody's like, I fucking hated this,
Yeah.
or they, enjoy it.
Like,
Yeah.
have a strong reaction. And that's like I was just gonna say, like, think of how boring it would be if we got on here every week and we're like, we watched this drama and it was good. Annyeong.
I liked it.
That's all right. And just like go through a summary of the
Right. Like if
plot.
we had
And if you like something and I didn't like it, I didn't even mean for this to turn into like a what happens if we like something and somebody else doesn't or someone else likes it and we don't like. That wasn't even like the point of tonight, but I think it's interesting is if I didn't like something and you did, let's say as an example, or like we as a collective, like, isn't that a moment also to like maybe feel like, I guess the challenge I'd also put out is like, should that be invalidating or should that be like kind of a cool thing to be like, well, what is it about me? Like, what is it that like how am I showing up in spaces that I'm seeing something here that's different, and like what is my unique lens that's bringing something to the table here with this like piece of art essentially, because I'm going to call K-drama an art. And so, and I try to do that sometimes too when somebody's like, you don't get it, it's like, well, you know what, I'm a funky little cookie, and so what did I like, what's cool about me that like made me like that thing?
Yeah. It was funny because when we still haven't, we have to publish this podcast yet, but we talked about memories of murder. And I remember you were like, why did this hit me? And it was fun to discuss. I liked it. It didn't hit me as much as it hit you. And I
My
actually
favorite movie.
Yeah, I found it to be an interesting discussion because it was like, well, why? Why did it hit you as hard as it did? And that's
We
really,
got to that with K-pop Demon Hunters, right? Like
yeah.
it turned into like mine and Megan's whole personality.
And then the
And
other
it
one
wasn't-
ruined it.
And it wasn't that the other one. And the other one didn't feel that way.
But what
like,
was
you
interesting to me is that somebody was like, you know, like basically for them, I did ruin it. They were like, why was she even there? And I was like, but my reaction was I liked it. My reaction
And
just
you had
wasn't.
you had a very good explanation for like why it didn't hit you the way that it hit us. And I'm not going to belabor it because you should go listen to that episode. And it was very well thought out. And it wasn't at all a criticism of the movie by any means.
It was very
It was
insightful.
your worldview. It was your worldview where you were physically during the time that the movie came out and where you were emotionally when it came out.
We appreciate you, middle child.
And
Yes.
we're also not static. Like, what if later I watched it and I was like, oh my God, I have realized this is the best thing I've ever seen. We are allowed to, like, that's the other thing. I feel like we're just like, sometimes there's these things of like, we have to take a stance and then like fight it to the death. Like, I come back to books sometimes that I loved or shows that I come back to and I'm like, ugh, like, you know, or I'll come back to something and be like, honestly, this is kind of amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. We love you for who you are. But anyway, thanks for listening. This was actually we didn't, sometimes with Uncensored, we like give ourselves prompts, but then it is fun to kind of just watch where it goes. So this was kind of fun because it just, we snowballed.
We did our own frequently asked questions.
If you're still here, thank you. It's late for me. I sort of feel like my brain is not braining like it should be. And so I think, yeah, it's time for us to go. But that was fun, ladies. Thank you.
Thanks for
And
listening, everyone.
yeah, we'll see you next week. Anya.
Anya.
Kamsahamnida. Thank you for listening to Afternoona Delight. Where can you find us outside the pod? Head on over to afternoonadelight.com. That's AFTERNOONADELIGHT.com. You'll find links to all our social media, our book recs, K-pop and K-skincare recs, and if you want even more Afternoona Delight, because really who doesn't, you can join our Patreon, where you can choose the patron level that's right for you. Join in daily K-drama conversations, listen to bonus podcast episodes just for patrons, and participate in our monthly live K-drama support group via Zoom. We can't wait for you to be a part of the community. Until next time, annyeong!